on the river, and we're going to take advantage of the gorgeous fall weather. Happy fall. Today's theme is going to be stretching ourselves outside of our comfort zone. So stretching doesn't mean that you have to be in excruciating pain, but maybe a little bit of discomfort. So we're going to just experiment today as we do some stretching and strengthening poses. So we're going to start off in a standing posture. So coming into low mountain, and we're just going to ground into the earth or the dock or the water. And we're going to just notice our bodies, noticing any sensations. Taking in a deep breath and letting it go, settling into our practice, feeling solid and grounded in the space that we're taking up right now. Feeling that strength of the mountain pose. And I'm going to encourage you to think about what you're committed to today, not just stepping onto the mat, but is there something, some intention that you want to make? So bring those hands to heart center and think of the intention that you want to make. It could be the intention of just being brave and experimenting with something new. And with a nod, let it be so. All right, so come on up, standing up nice and tall, spine straight. We're going to take those hands out and up to high mountain. Bring those hands together overhead, and we're going to stretch up out of our body over to the right. Bending over, cracking open that left side, looking up under that left arm. Really breathing into the side body. And come on up, and let's stretch over to the left side, reaching over, cracking open the right side of the body, breathing into all those crevices, stretching, making space, and allowing for whatever happens to happen. And lift it all the way up. Bring those hands down to your hips. And we're going to just do some hip circles, just loosening up those hips, that waist, that lower back, taking circles over to the right. And then take it to the left. And be mindful of the breath as you're doing this. It shouldn't be choppy, so if it is, reset. Okay, find stillness here. Let's swing those arms around to the right, and we're going to take a twist. And twist around to the left. And come on to our facing the end of our mat, and we're going to raise those hands up overhead and just take a swan dive forward, And keep those knees bent because we are in the beginning of our practice and we're still warming up the body. So hanging down in ragdoll, grab opposite arms, elbows, and just let it go. Let gravity take hold, pulling you down. Maybe finding some organic movement here, or maybe just finding stillness. And bring those hands to the mat, and we're going to walk those hands forward as we walk the feet backward. And we're going to come to a plank pose. And lower down very slowly, all the way down to our bellies. And we're going to take a lift up to cobra. Nice, and lower it. And let's do that again. Take a lift up. And lower back down. And let's push back to child's pose. And being mindful of our breath, we want to pay attention to the movement. So making sure there's a rhythm to it. So pull on forward, and we're going to tuck those toes under and come up into our first down dog. And let's pedal those feet out, stretching those calves. And if you notice any tension elsewhere in your body, try to give that a little TLC, opening up the spaces, making room. And find some stillness. Melt the heart to the earth. Lift up out of those shoulders. And we're going to walk those feet to the front of the mat again. And take a half lift, flattening the back and lower. And come on up to high mountain. Bring hands to heart center. Take in a breath. And so a lot of these postures, when we do them slowly, we can really get in a good stretch. So I try not to rush through this. We're going to do our Sun A salutation. So taking those arms down and around and up, come up to high mountain and take a swan dive forward. All the way down to forward fold. Take a half lift and lower down and step back to plank. Lower down. You can do cobra or an up dog. And push back to down dog. Let's do that again. Walking to the front of our mat. Take a half lift and lower. And all the way up to high mountain. Reaching up, stretching ourselves. Hands come down to heart center. Take a breath. And arms down and around and up, reach up and swan dive forward. Take a half lift and lower, step back and lower for chaturanga. To up dog or cobra and push back to down dog. One more of these, walk to the front of the mat. Take a half lift and lower. And on up, reaching for the sky. When we're stretching ourselves, it always helps to take a breath to really breathe into it. finding and creating more space. Hands together, bring them to heart center. And arms down and around and up. And swan dive down. Take a half lift and lower and step back for chaturanga. Coming up and push back to down dog. Nice. Float that right leg behind you and hold it there for three-legged dog. Watch your alignment. Make sure that your hips are straight. We want to make sure that we're aligned well while stretching. And bend the knee and bring that leg all the way through between your hands. And we're going to come into low lunge. Hold that low lunge. Push the heart forward. See if you can really get into that stretch. Pushing that leg or pushing on that back foot and getting as low as you can. Come on up to crescent lunge. Stretch up, come back down to frame the foot. Take the right foot back and lower down for chaturanga. And push back to down dog. Take that left foot up, hold it up there. Stretch it. And bend that knee and bring that foot all the way through to between your hands. Come to low lunge. And shine that heart forward, deepening into the lunge. Notice the sensations that are coming up. Are you able to stretch yourself a little farther today? And we're going to rise up into crescent lunge. And come on down to frame the foot. Take that left foot back and lower down into our flow. Push up and back. Let's do that again. Float that right foot up. Bring it all the way through to low lunge. Take it up to crescent lunge. Back down to low lunge. And this time, drop that back knee. And we're going to bring the hands to rest on our right knee and get a little deeper, different stretch. And let's rise up to crescent and lower all the way down, bringing the feet to meet, lowering down for our vinyasa. Up, back to down dog. And do it on the other side. Float that left foot up. Bring it all the way through. Low lunge. Rise up to crescent lunge. Lower down to low lunge. Drop that knee. Lift up. Pressing into the knee. Lower the hands back down. Come up to crescent lunge. And all the way down to frame the foot. And lower down for vinyasa. Flowing up and back and down. Float that right leg up. Bring it all the way through. Come to low lunge. High lunge. Low lunge. knee to the ground, stretch it back. And this time we're going to straighten that front leg, stretching all the way back, sitting on that back foot as we hinge at the hips, flexing that front foot, stretching out over that leg. So do what you can today, and as I always say, if you need to take a break, come into child's pose. And come on up to low lunge, high lunge, and back down to frame the foot. Lower down for chaturanga. Up dog, and back to down dog. Float that left foot up, bring it all the way through. Low lunge, that wasn't very graceful. Low lunge, hold it here. High lunge. Low lunge, knee to the ground. Straighten that front leg and sit back on that back foot as we hinge over that front leg, getting in a good stretch. In the groin, the hamstring. And roll forward into low lunge, high lunge, and all the way down for our flow. Lifting up and back and down. Okay, let's walk to the front of the mat. We're going to take a little lift, flat back and lower. And this time, bend those knees, and we're coming into our chair pose. So hold that chair pose. Hold it. I know, it feels awful if you haven't done this a whole lot. All the way up to high mountain. Hands together, bring them into heart center. And we're going to take it back down to seated. And this time, bring hands to heart center, and we're going to do a twist to the right. Stretching it out. And if you want to stretch a little deeper, take those arms all the way out. This always reminds me of when my kids were babies, and we'd say, "I love you this much." And hands back together, back to neutral. Up to high mountain. Take a breath. Hands to prayer and heart center. Come down to chair and twist to the left. And if you want to go deeper, arms all the way out. And try to sit back as far as you can, putting most of the weight in those heels. And hands back together, come to neutral, standing up, high mountain, and forward fold. Take a lift up and lower, and back for chaturanga. Up and back. Float that right foot up, and this time we're going to come into, well, first we're going to come into a low lunge, and then we're going to take the right hand inside that right foot. So this is the beginning of a lizard. You can stay here. If you want to take that back knee back, you can do that. And you can stay here. If you want to go deeper, you can come down on your forearms. And if that's not enough, you can do a little twist to push on that right knee. This is one of my favorite stretches, especially as a runner. Everything gets so tight in there. And release it. Walk those hands back towards you. Take that left foot, bend the knee, and we're going to swivel that right hand back to grab the left foot. And just pull gently on that foot. You don't have to hurt yourself to give it a little stretch. You can push with the foot while pulling with the hand. So you're getting a good stretch while strengthening as well. And release. Release it all the way down. Tuck that back foot under, coming to low lunge. Come up to high lunge. And lower it all down for chaturanga. To up dog and back to down dog. Catch your breath. Second side. Float that left foot up and bring it all the way through to low lunge. Take that left hand and place it on the inside of the left foot. You can stay here, or you can lower that back knee, give it a stretch here, or if you want to do the full expression, you can go all the way down on your forearms into your lizard. If you want to get a little more of a stretch, take that left hand and place it on the left knee and twist. And gently push on that left knee. And release it. Walk those hands back towards you. Bend that right knee up. Take that left hand back to meet the right foot. And gently pull. You're stretching yourself in many different ways in this posture. And release it all. Hands to the earth. Come on up to low lunge, high lunge, and all the way down to the earth for our vinyasa. Lowering and lifting and pushing back to down dog. Take that right foot up to the front of your mat, between your hands. And we're going to take that left heel, turn it to come up to our warrior one pose. And hold it there. Make sure your alignment is good with your hips straight ahead. And then we're going to straighten that front leg. And we're going to hinge at the hips, moving down over that right leg. Bringing the hands to the earth and stretching out that right leg. See if you can take a little lift up and take a breath. And stretch a little further. I think I just got a little seasick. Watching that boat flowing around, take a lift up and bend into that front knee. Come on up to warrior one, and we're going to come all the way around to warrior two. Stretching into this pose, smiling open the collarbones, reaching out on either side, looking at the ends of our middle finger. Flip that right hand and reach it up to the sky while that left hand reaches back to grab the left thigh. Stretch it all the way out. And then then come on over to side angle on the right. Back up to warrior two and cartwheel those hands back down to frame the foot, coming to our vinyasa flow. Taking a lift up and push back to down dog. Let's do that on the other side. Left foot comes up. Drop that right heel, and we're going to rise up into our warrior one. Let's stretch ourselves a little deeper in this posture. Straighten that front leg, and nice and easy, hinge out over the left leg. Reaching until you touch the ground. And stretch out over that leg. Take a little lift up as you take a breath in. And lower back down. See if you can get deeper into that stretch. Bend that front knee, rise up to warrior one, and let's turn to warrior two. Making sure that your alignment is good. Hold it, see if you can get a little deeper into the stretch without that knee going out over that front foot. Staying in alignment and constantly checking yourself is so important. And we do that in day-to-day life. So we're going to take a lift of that left arm, reaching for the sky as we reach back with that right hand for our reverse warrior. And then come on over to side angle. Back up to warrior two and cartwheel it all the way down for our vinyasa flow. Coming up and pushing back to down dog. And catch your breath. Let's float that foot up. And bend the knee and bring that leg all the way through to the outside of the left hand. So the right foot is going outside the left hand. So you're getting a little stretch in here, but then watch what happens. We're gonna take that left hand, lift it up, and do a variation of a plank. So we're stretching and strengthening at the same time. So this is our fallen triangle. Bring that left hand back down and see if you can lower a little bit, kind of like you're gonna do a push-up. But just see if you can stretch that hip a little more. Push up and take that right leg back up to three-legged dog and down to meet the right. Nice. Lower those knees to the mat and push back to child's pose. Taking a little break. And pull back up, tuck those toes under, push back to down dog. Float that left foot up. Bend that knee and bring that leg all the way through under the right leg. Coming into our fallen triangle. Reach up with the right hand. And you might not be able to get fully into this, and maybe this is just not enough. Everybody is different. And bring that hand back down to the earth. Lower down slightly as if you're going to do a push-up. And hold it there for a little stretch. Push back up and bring that left foot back up to three-legged dog and lower it. Drop the knees. Push back into child's pose. Pull back up into down dog. We're going to bring that right foot up to our pigeon. So you may just want to stay here with that front leg bent. You do what you can. This is something that is not for everybody. So stretch those arms up and down, bringing your head forward to rest on your hands or your mat. Opening up those hip flexors. And breathe into the spaces that you didn't see before. And just notice how everything is opening up. This is one of those postures that I enjoy staying in for a while. And let's push up. Walk those hands back. Take that left foot, bend that left knee, and swim that left hand back to grab the left foot. And we can stay here. And if mermaid is in your practice, by all means, go ahead and do that. I'm still working my way into that. And release it. And bring that right knee back to meet the left. Lower down for vinyasa or go right back to down dog. We'll all meet in down dog. Second side, bring that left knee up forward into our pigeon pose. Drop the right foot, the top of the right foot to rest on the mat. And you can hold it here or take your arms up and come all the way down. Resting that head on your hands. I usually like to take about 5 breaths here. Just really sinking into the posture. And just noticing how there's space being made in your body that you didn't know you had, pushing that tension away and all those uncomfortable feelings that you hold in your body. And push up and back. Bend that right knee. Take that right hand and swim it back to grab that right foot. And pull with the foot while you're pulling with the hand. So you're stretching and strengthening at the same time. And you can go ahead and do full mermaid if that's in your practice. And release. Bring that left foot to meet the right foot. Lower it all the way down to your belly. And we're going to take a lift up with our feet and pushing our chest out, holding it, and lower it all back down. This time we're going to be like Wonder Woman or Supergirl. Take a lift up with the arms and the legs. Hold it. And lower back down. And one more time, this time, we're going to bend those back legs, swim the right hand back, and then the left hand grabbing your ankles, and take a breath in, and as you're letting it go, pull up into our bow pose. And release. Nice. Push it all back. Come into child's pose. And we're going to come up to tabletop, cross those feet, and come into seated. Take the legs straight out in front of you. Take the arms up overhead. Stretch out of your torso. Take a breath in and hinge at the hips, reaching out over those toes. And rise up, take a breath, and see if you can get a little deeper in this stretch. And lift up. Situate yourself. Let's come on to boat pose. How appropriate. We're on the river. You can stay here or straighten those legs and hold it. Whatever suits your body. Some days I can do it, other days I can't. Every day is different. And let's come into low boat. High boat. Low boat. High boat. Place those feet flat on the ground, and we're going to slowly come back. Using that core, one vertebra at a time. And coming down to lie on your back. Bring those knees in to give yourself a big hug. Maybe even roll around a little bit, give your back a massage. Keeping those knees bent, place your hands behind your head and take a little lift up with your head, and we're going to do some yogi bicycles. So send that right leg straight out, and then we're going to lift it up and bend it as we send that left leg out. Lift the left leg up and down. Right leg comes out and up and down. Left leg goes out and up and down. Now, if you want to add elbow, you can do that. There's a lot going on in this. So, right leg goes out, right elbow touches the left knee, lift up that right leg, and back to neutral. Left leg goes out, left elbow to right knee, left leg goes up, and everything comes in. Let's do a few of those on your own. This is a little more challenging. Takes mental muscle as well as physical muscle. All right, bring it all in. Take a rest. And send those legs out. And we're going into fish pose. Tuck those hands underneath your glutes. And we're going to take a lift up, letting that head drop back as we arch the back. And lower it down, knees to chest. This time, we're going to take those feet flat on the ground, and we're going to come up into an arch. And we'll do the less difficult version. Take those hips up in the air. Push it up. Try not to splay those knees out to the side. Push it up and lower. Relax for a moment. Now, you can do that again, or you can do the full expression of wheel. The wheel is bringing your hands, flipping them over so your fingertips are pointing down towards your feet and your palms are on the ground by your head. And we're going to push all the way up after we take a breath and push it out. And maybe you're not ready to do that today, and that's fine. Listen to your body and do what you can do. And lower it all down. Knees to chest. Let's take our arms either out to cactus or out to big T. Knees are bent, feet hip width apart. Drop those knees over to the left side while looking over to the right. And if you want a little extra challenge, take that left foot on top of the right knee, pulling it down to the mat. Make sure you keep your back on the ground. Your shoulder blade has a tendency to want to come up. And switch over to the other side. And take that right foot on top of the left knee if you want a deeper stretch, and pull it down while looking over to the left. And release it. Bring those knees up to your chest. Take those hands down between your legs. Grab the blades of your feet and stretch those legs out into happy baby. Bring those knees up into the armpits. Stretch those legs. Maybe even rock and roll a little bit. And bring those feet together. Take those feet down to the ground. Send those legs straight out in front of you. Let's do one final stretch. Stretch those arms up and over your head, reaching on either end of your body. And release it all, floating those hands down to your sides for our final pose of Shavasana. Palms up. Everything is relaxed. Take inventory of your body from head to toe. Notice if there's tension in any part of your body, and really concentrate on releasing that, making space, stretching. We really stretched ourselves today. Let's see if you can stretch yourself a little longer in terms of just finding stillness and quiet right now. I know the tendency is to want to pop up and get on with the day, but I'm going to encourage us to just linger a little bit. And if you want to linger a little longer, that's awesome. I'm going to close us out though for today. So finding movement in your hands and your feet. Coming back to the space. We're going to bend those knees and drop them over to the side. Bringing that top hand over and pushing up to seated. I'm glad that you took the time to not only step on the mat today, but stretch yourself out of your comfort zone. Some of these poses are something that you just have to work into, and that's okay. It's a journey. That's what my yoga teacher always says. So thank you for being a part of this practice today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.